Hello, folks. So this is the orientation for CNIT 123, Ethical Hacking and Network Defense. And I made a page for this class, but I'm not going to be the teacher. Liz is going to be the teacher, Elizabeth Biddlecombe. But I'm the instructor of record because the City College administration is in great chaos, and they have been cutting our cybersecurity program. So that's bad. And so although Liz will be teaching this class, she's working as my assistant instead of as an official teacher this semester. And she's not going to be able to serve everybody. There's usually a lot more students that want to take 123 than who can get in. So I would like those of you who cannot get in to protest to the administration. If you go to samsclass.info that you should see on your screen, I put a link here if a class is full. And here is a suggested email to please let them know these are the people, the administrators at City College, to inform about this, that they really need to stop laying off our security teachers and canceling our security classes because our security program is important and it gets students good jobs. And so this is my recommendation of a sort of form letter you can use to explain the classes you were not able to get into. The trustee here has been saying that she doesn't know about any students that can't get into classes, so I think we should let her know about students who can't get into classes and perhaps convince these people to knock it off and stop cutting us. So anyway, I'm going to hand it out. I made a page for this class, but I'm not going to be the teacher. However, if you want it, there's an ethical hacking page here with resources that will help you. It has lectures when I taught this class a few years ago, videos that you might want to look at, and it has a link to the project's CTF page, which is what you should probably use to get do the projects here. And the rest of it's in Liz's Canvas. So I'm going to just pass it on to Liz, who can explain what you're going to actually do with her running the show. So let me move the Zoom up here. And why don't you take over, Liz?
Great. Thanks, Sam. And hi, everybody. Welcome to CNIT 123. And we're glad to have you here. So I'm going to go ahead and just show my screen and go over a few points just real quick that will help you navigate the course and understand the best way to get through the content and all of that. And I know we've got a couple returning students, so what you're seeing this time may look a little different than what you've seen in the past. Go ahead and share my screen. I just migrated everything to a new machine, so it's an update, so let's give it new challenges. Permissions. Hopefully everybody can see this okay. So up here on the screen, you should be able to see what the front page of the course looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and go into student view here so that hopefully it at least somewhat mirrors what you're going to be able to see on your side as a student. So when you come up to the course landing page, on the first course here, you'll see kind of the basics about this class. One thing that I want to, before we even get into this, I kind of want to, let me stop sharing this right now and share another image with you that I must give credit to, I must give credit to Alan Wennerston for this one, because he was the one who originally came up with the idea for this for when he was teaching the forensics course 121, which is an excellent course. I recommend y'all take it. Sam is offering that this semester. And the intent behind this meme here is that sometimes students will take this course and they'll think, oh, it's a completely beginner level course. I don't really know much about computers. I'll just start here. And if you do that, you're probably not going to get the best out of the course, and you may be really frustrated. So just a friendly bit of advice. If you don't know anything about networking at all, or you know, you're kind of shaky on basic computer user material, I'd encourage you strongly to go and take a few courses first. Learn a little bit about basic computer use in CNIT 101, operating systems. Take 104, or I think the other one you can take is 201C. 104 and 201 are the intro to networking courses. So, and 201 is the Cisco networking course. It's a really good course. Richard Wu teaches it. And there you're going to learn, you can take either one. You're going to learn the basics of networking, and that's going to give you a good foundation to understand a lot of what you're going to be doing in this class. And after that, I strongly recommend taking CNIT 120, which is it's an introduction to network security. It's going to give you a high-level overview of how information security and networking concepts are integrated, and you're going to learn some good hands-on techniques. So, if I understand if it's not possible, or if you have a reasonable foundation of knowledge in these areas, you should be fine. I don't want to discourage anyone from learning. However, if you don't have that foundational knowledge, I'd encourage you to go take some of these classes, learn a little bit about networking, about virtualization, about security before you take this course, because you'll just get a lot more out of it that way, and certain parts won't be as confusing to you. So, just a friendly bit of advice. Do what you want, but that is typically students who've done that have had a much better experience in the course. So. I'll go ahead and reshare the Canvas page again with you all here. See, there's some questions in the chat here too. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. Looks way better, easier to navigate. Great. Okay. Well, that's okay. So hopefully this is going to be a lot more clear to you. So this is what you're going to see on the landing page once you get into the course, and it kind of outlines the objectives for the course, explains what you're going to learn in the class. So if these topics seem like they may not be, that a lot of these words don't make sense, that's okay. If all of the words don't make sense, probably should go take one of those foundational courses first and learn a little bit more before you get in. And then it has some info here about how to contact me. You can, my CCSF email address is still active, so contact me through there. You can use the inbox to reach out to get help, and we'll make sure you get help that way. And the rest of it should be a lot, it should be fairly self-explanatory. So the syllabus is where you're going to find a lot of good information. And sometimes folks forget to read the syllabus, or maybe they don't know where it is, but it's just a second item here on the left sidebar menu here in Canvas. So take some time, familiarize yourself with this. I'll touch on a couple highlights here right now. Right up at the top, how to get help. If you run into a technical problem, don't freak out. That's okay. There's a lot of debugging involved in this class, and struggle a little bit. Get used to struggling a little bit. That's okay. You're going to learn a lot when you're struggling, but what we don't want is for you to be stuck and struggling unproductively. So if you hit that point where you're just stuck and you can't move on, reach out for help. Here's a few options that you can use for that. So we've got a discussion board here in the class, and this is a great place to post your technical questions. You'll either hear from me or from fellow classmates. Another really good way to learn the material is to help your peers who may have had some problems that you've experienced in the past. And by helping them, you can learn that material a little better, because you have to think about it in a different way when you're explaining to someone how to fix their problem. So I'd encourage you to do that. You might notice here that helpful discussion contributions could earn extra credit points. So just something to keep in mind. It's a good idea to do that. And then I can close that. So you've got the discussion board here. You can also reach out for help here through the inbox. So what I would ask you to do when you do that is please name the assignment, because there are different challenges and assignments in this course, and there's a lot going on here. So if you just spell it out, that's going to make it easier for whoever's helping you. Also, clearly explain the issue as much as you can. This is a skill you're going to need on the job when you're filling out IT support tickets. Your IT team will love you if you can clearly explain what your problem is, and provide screenshots if you can. And this last one is key. Describe the steps you've taken already to solve the issue, because I don't want to waste your time giving you a bunch of suggestions that you've already tried. That's no fun for everybody. So help me help you, and try to outline the problem as best you can and what steps you've taken so far. Okay, so the way this course works is pretty different than other courses you may be used to. So it's scored like a video game. Essentially, this course is all text. It's all points based. There are no weighted tests. If you're not a good test taker, you don't want to take, maybe you don't want to take the quizzes. You don't want to base your whole score on, hey, am I going to pass the final? Am I going to pass the midterm? That's okay. The assignments are not weighted. If there's an assignment that you just can't seem to get it to work on your system, don't freak out. You're not going to lose points there. You have virtually unlimited ways to earn points for this class. So when we look at the grading scale, I've pretty much spelled it out here in every way I know how you can earn the points for the class. So we've got the general points breakdown here of how it's set up, and we've got the standard grading scale here. Here's what you're really going to be looking at when you're calculating your score. Okay, at midterms, these are going to be the points brackets for the grades that you're going to want to shoot for. So if you want to get an A by midterms, you're going to need to have earned 367 or more points in the course. At finals, if you want to get an A in the course, you're going to need to earn 733 or more points in the course. That gives you control over your score. You can earn the grade you want to earn, and it's also on you to keep track of those points. So I want to show you. It's a poor design pattern and what we call a trap for new users in Canvas, and I just want to make everybody aware of this right now, because it's really confusing. It's not intuitive at all, and it has caused issues for students in the past. So if you click on this little grades object here on the left-hand menu, you'll see that you come to a page that has all the grades and the assignments on here. Now I've entered a few, dummy grades for this test student, just so that I can show you that the way that it calculates grades down here at the bottom is not correct. It's going to show you this 100% value where this fake student's only got 25 points so far. Please do not pay attention to that. We've tried multiple times to either hide this or amend this or set up an integration so that it would pull in points from the scoreboard. None of that seemed to work. So pay attention to yourself. Just keep track of how many points you have total. You can look at the points value here and the points on the scoreboard, which I'll get to in a second, to assess exactly where you're at in the class. So I just want to make sure that that's clear to everybody. It's not the most intuitive thing in the world. But I'm going to show you the scoreboard, and then we can answer some questions about this too later on if anybody else has questions. So you've got your points breakdown here and your points that you need to earn to get the grade that you want. So there's also extra credit points. So any extra points you make on the CTF that are, you know, over and above, anything like that, if you want to do projects, we can talk about that. Any of those points just get added on to your total score here. So again, that gives you total control over what you're trying to do here. So when you want to look at the way that the course is set up, I'm going to urge you to click on this modules object over here on the left-hand menu. So if we go there at the very top of the modules section, you're going to see a capture the flag module here. If you click on that, it'll show you how to access the capture the flag. So you've got some access credentials here. Because you'll need to enter those once you get onto the scoreboard, and then I think I've already entered the credentials, so it's not going to prompt me for them, but there'll be a pop-up here. So if your browser is disabled pop-ups, you may need to enable that so you can log in, and you'll see the scoreboard. So we've got a series of challenges here, and it's up to you which challenges you want to do. Now, I have incorporated within the modules section here, I have laid out the first half of the course. I'm still working on the second half past midterms, but there'll be some kind of suggested modules along the way that you can complete. So here's a good example. Let's scroll down to Nmap. If we go to the Nmap project in week 5, it's still locked. I'll have to fix that for you. Leave the student view so I can show you. If you go in here to the Nmap project here, you'll see that 0 points are listed. That might confuse you because it says, okay, earn up to 40 points. Well, what does that mean? You follow this link here, it'll take you to excuse me, it'll take you to the Nmap project link that is here on the capture the flag under the networking section. And you'll see that there are a series of different challenges in here that are different amounts of points. So the first challenge that you complete down here at the bottom is worth 15 points. Maybe you've had enough Nmap after that first challenge. I don't see how anyone could ever get enough Nmap because it is so useful, and I would encourage you to work through as many of these as you can. However, if you're done at 15 points, you're done at 15 points. That's okay. You can earn more points in another area to add to your total. So once you complete your, let's say you go through this. You complete your challenge. You complete your first challenge, which is H410.1. You can go back over to the main page here, and you'll see there is a scoreboard, and there's also a submit flags link. Now the scoreboard's cleared out right now. Once folks start earning points, names will start coming up on here. When you have completed a challenge and you want to submit your flags, what you'll do is we'll go here to the submit flags area, and you'll see that there's a series number. So in this case, it's H. And you'll also see here there's a series of challenges. So in this case, since it's 410.1, we're going to want to go here and select the 410.1 challenge. Then you're going to want to enter your name. Now, I don't care if you want to use your government name or your hacker handle or whatever. You can put in a name there. Now, what's really important, though, is if you do not use the name that you registered for the course under, if you do not use your government name, you need to let me know what handle you've chosen so that I can make sure when it comes time to submit grades that you're going to get all the points that you've earned, because you do not want to miss out on any points. So I'm going to show you something to do with that here. which is that there are a couple of assignments here in the course. Under this Capture the Flag module, you'll see there's a CTF score midterms and a CTF score final. So if you visit the CTF score midterms screen, you'll see here that there is an option to instructions to take a screenshot, and you'll be submitting a file. So if you take a screenshot and you submit it here, you can show me, ideally with your student name highlighted or your handle that you've used. That way you can show me, okay, this is the handle I've been using when I am submitting flags on the scoreboard. That way you'll know that I'm Optimus Prime 782, and you'll assign me the points that I've earned. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So any questions so far? I see there's something in the chat here. Okay, cool. Ah, great, Mark. 103 and 201C, those are super good foundations for the course. I'm not really sure what 61 is. Which course is that?
One of them was Intro to Computers, another was Computer Hardware, and another was Intro to Cisco.
Nice. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, you're gonna be set up then. That's a great foundation of courses to take. So follow Mark's example, folks. If
I was one of those guys that thought I was gonna jump in the ring because I watched the movie Hackers, and she put it to me. She's like, "Nah, dude, you're gonna have some trouble treading water. You might wanna, take a step back." And so it was cool. And plus, I absorbed it pretty well. And so I'm really looking forward to this class. It's like go at my own pace. And once I get obsessed with something, man, I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? So.
That's the right mindset to have for sure. And you are not alone on that island. Other students have kind of fallen into that trap. So I just want to make it really clear at the beginning how to get that info, and make sure that you've got that foundation so that when you jump in, this stuff should be fun. It should be a good time. I mean, you're going to get frustrated, and sometimes you're going to want to throw your computer into the bay, and that's okay. That's how you know you're learning. But as long as you're having some breakthroughs and you're able to get through this stuff and having a good time with it, that's what we want. Rahani, did you have a question? I saw your hands up.
Yeah, for CDF, we're gonna do the assignment on there and then submit it on Canvas, or it has some other space to submit the assignment.
So you're going to be submitting it. You're going to once you do the CTF challenges, you're going to click on this enter flags or submit flags link here at the top of the page, and then all you have to do is put in your name and the flag for each one. And then once you do that, your name and the points will just automatically appear on the scoreboard. Now the part about submitting on Canvas is here. If you are using a different name, like if you're using a handle, like say your handle on the scoreboard that you entered is like Mr. Robot 2023, then I don't know who that is in the course, and I'm not going to be able to enter your points. What you're going to want to do in that case, if you've chosen to use a handle, is to take a screenshot with that handle highlighted and then upload it here. So I just ask that you do that so that nobody misses out on any points that they're entitled to. I still always check the scoreboard just to make sure. So if you forget to do this, it's not the end of the world, but if you forget to do this and you're using a handle that is not your name, I'm probably not going to be able to award you your points. So, because I won't know who you are. So make sure that you do that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. So
ride's taken. So what's left, right?
Right, exactly. So, but and it's up to you. It doesn't matter. You can use if you for some reason some students are maybe they have a scary X and they think that they may be able to find them on the scoreboard here. So if you want to use a handle, that's okay. But you don't have to. You can still use your name. It's up to you. All I'm asking is if you do choose to use a handle, you submit here and upload a screenshot showing your name so that I can make sure you get all your points.
will there be any class like remote or Zoom, or just only we have to do self study and then do that?
So this is going to be, that's a great question. This is going to be fully asynchronous online. However, every once in a while we may have an open help session. I like to hold one probably about a month after the class starts, somewhere roughly around that time, just because it gives folks some time to add who are, maybe they're doing late ads during ad drop, or maybe they have to get a new computer for this or whatever. It gives people some time to get settled and then have a check-in. Now, and then also I like to occasionally invite industry speakers to come talk to you, which you're gonna get to talk to one today. You're gonna get to hear from Caitlin here in a few minutes. And in the case of events like that, I will send out an email blast and put an announcement in the course ahead of time so that you can know that an event's coming up. But those aren't required. You don't have to do that. You don't have to attend those. They're totally optional. Sometimes there might be an extra credit. There might be an extra credit bounty for attending a speaker talk online or a hackathon or something like that. But there are going to be there's no required attendance. And so you've got that. And then as far as, again, if you need help, look at or go back up here to the syllabus, and you can see up at the top, another way that you can get help is that Sam runs open help sessions starting at 7:30
Not from last semester, and I'm getting more hope because last couple times I tried to take it. First time I remember our campus got closed because of the COVID, and you got sick. You were in the hospital or some reason, right? And then I dropped up, or some reason I could not drop up, and I got the F, fail. So 2 times I tried, it was like that, and I got sick also COVID. And the second time I got stuck in the Bangladesh. So it was like so much a mess, and I really got scared I'm gonna get fail or something like that. I don't know how to. That time I was new. I don't know how to navigate the campus and like all those canvas thing, and follow the instruction, doing by myself. Like I was hoping that I'm gonna, campus will be open, you will take the class, and I'm gonna join the class like that way. So I was like trying to take it and then drop it, and sometimes I could not drop on time. I got the F, and this time I really got hope because last semester I really got a lot of help from Sam, and I was thinking I'm gonna fail, but I got the dean honor list, like so. And now
awesome. Congratulations.
And I'm like no, I'm back on my track. I can do it.
Yeah, well, there's a saying that goes something like success is falling down 9 times and getting up 10 times, and I feel like that is so true. So I'm so glad to hear that. And I've also had some students tell me before, like, hey, I'm kind of uncomfortable with trying to get help in a group setting. First of all, I want to say, like, I empathize with that. I can understand that. However, it is a good skill to kind of push yourself outside of the comfort zone if you can, and show up to those sessions, ask questions, because chances are, if you had those questions, somebody else has that question at some point, or has had that question. So don't get down on yourself. Start just, one of the biggest keys to success in this realm is getting comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, if that makes sense. So, get used to that. Another thing to bear in mind is, I heard you say too, like there were some life circumstances that kind of got in the way and you missed the drop period. That happens a lot of the time. It's totally understandable. But remember, if that ever happens to anybody in this class, you do have the option to request an incomplete. So let's say you're past the drop date, you're kind of halfway through the course, some catastrophe happens in your life. Just reach out. Just send me a message, an inbox, send me an email and say, hey, I got some stuff going on. I know we're past the drop date. Can I please request an incomplete for the class. And
I feel like really bad because it's both like I'm like, oh my God, I tried 2 times and FF. I was like, because of the COVID, I went Bangladesh and I got stuck. I got COVID there too, and I had very bad back pain issues that my backbone disc collapsed.
yeah, that happens sometimes, and that's okay. That's okay. So don't feel bad. Don't get down on yourself. We have workarounds for this stuff. So we want to see you succeed in these classes, and we want to support you. So if something comes up, just let us know, and we'll find a way to work with you. Also, there's stuff in here about due dates. I put it in there because, we had in the old way, sometimes people would just try to submit everything at the very end of the course, and there's just no way to grade it all on time and get it in. So we have some late work policies that are put in the syllabus and stuff like that. But I will say here, don't let that psych you out. If there's some stuff that's late, let me know, please, and we'll find a way to work that out. Most of the stuff though is not set up with rigid due dates. Other than there are pretty rigid dates as far as midterms and final grades. Like I have to submit those grades on a deadline. And if I don't, they're major problems. So, midterms and end of semester are the biggest issues as far as that goes. So, please make sure that you're submitting stuff as well as you can close to the deadlines, and keep track of how many points you've earned on the scoreboard. If you choose to read the book and you would like to take some of the quizzes and exams, I think that's a good idea. It's going to help you prepare for taking certification exams, which a lot of the time are kind of fact crams. It is what it is, right?
Hey, Liz, let me interrupt you a minute. Rouhani, I'm recording this. This is going to be put up there so later students can watch this. So it caught you asking some questions. Is that okay, or do you want me to edit that out?
You still there, Rouhani?
Yes, sorry, I was on mute. I didn't know that. I did unmute. So yeah, sure, Sam, no problem.
Okay.
I'm fine.
I just wanted to make sure everyone knows that. If you ask questions right now, you'll end up in the recording in case that bothers you. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so you can see here that there's a textbook. Textbook is totally optional. Don't bother trying to get it from the bookstore. We've tried ordering it several times through there. I think about the third time that the textbook order got screwed up, I just quit requesting it because it seemed like there was no way to actually get the textbook in the bookstore over the last couple of years. So it's on here. It's totally optional. And I will say, as a college faculty member, I certainly cannot encourage anyone to pirate their textbooks. And so I think it's important just to make really sure that you know where not to go. Definitely don't go to this address. I'll put it in the chat just so that you know exactly where to avoid. Make sure you don't go there to this treasure trove of free books on the internet, because that would be wrong. We don't want to rob rapacious academic publishers of their obscene levels of profit. And you can see here the optional textbook is called Hands-on Ethical Hacking and Network Defense, just so that you know exactly where to avoid.
Does it have an on O'Reilly?
Well, okay, so if you scroll down to about the middle of the page, you'll see here that there's a PDF of Hands-on Hacking and Ethical Defense.
Mm-hmm.
So use that information as you will. Definitely make sure you avoid this page. This whole repository here has a bunch of stuff that you should totally avoid. A bunch of free educational resources on networking, programming, information security, and so on. So just good to know what to stay away from. Mark, I see your hand raised. Did you have a question?
Oh yeah, I just want to say I'm one of the guys who actually paid for it, and it was like $80. I'm so glad I finally get to use it. You said it shouldn't be updated relatively earlier in the next year or so. So yeah, I'm gonna start going through that.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope so. I hope it'll be a good. I hope it'll be a good resource for you. And like I said, if I think it's really good to read the textbook and then take the quizzes and the exams, but because here's the other thing that can't hurt you. Let's say you take an exam and you bomb it. Let's say you get an F on this exam. You get that. Let's say there's like 80 points total and you get 30 points. That's not going to hurt you. In a lot of other classes where the exams are weighted, it's going to bring down your grade, but not in this one. It just adds 30 points on to your total score. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'd encourage you, take the quizzes, take the exams. You can't go wrong there. Any points you earn are gonna just be added on to your total score. And you'll see too with the quizzes, you can take them twice. So with the exams, midterm and final, you can only take them once. But if you have a technical problem, let's say your internet dies, or I've had a rotating cast of all of my utilities going out, water, power, and internet the last few days. So let's say something bad happens and you're only like a third of the way through and you can't get back on. Reach out to me because I can reset it for you. Or if you get sick and you miss the midterm and you want to take it later, just to test your knowledge or see if you can earn some points, but it's closed, please reach out to me so we can make sure it gets reopened for you. Okay, one last thing here before we hand it over to Caitlin. So most of the assignments here in the course are going to be just like I showed you. You can click through and go and complete them on the CTF page. However, there are a few here in the very beginning of the course that are not like that. So first assignment here, which is the the virtual machines. You'll see here that there is an alternative assignment up here at the top. Now that is on Sam's page. Oops. That is on the CTF page. So you can do this assignment. You can do both if you want to. But for this very first assignment, it asks you to submit a screenshot showing that you've set one up. Now, these very first assignments where you set up and configure your VMs, I don't care if you host them locally. I don't care if you use cloud VMs. That's your choice. I don't care if you do both. It's really probably a good idea to learn how to set up and configure both of those. However, the reason that these are at the beginning and they have some points attached is because this is a really good way to know if you're ready for the course. If you're unable to use these instructions or any instructions to set up a virtual or locally hosted, a cloud or locally hosted virtual machine, you're probably not ready for the course because that's a pretty basic skill that you're going to need. Now, if you need some help with that, we can help you get those set up because sometimes there are some sticking points, especially I've noticed for students who are using a Windows host machine, tend to have a lot more problems with this stuff, but there are ways to do this. So, the one downside here is if you're going to be using cloud machines, you are going to need a credit card to set up the account. Now, if you're careful and you make sure that you shut your cloud instances off when you're done, and you monitor the account page, it won't charge you any money on that account. Now they will send you warnings like, hey, your blah, blah, blah instance is consuming resources, or you've used up your free credits. Now you got to go into, now you're going to have to start paying. Shut it off, get some more free credits. I'm not sure if there is a limit on how many times you can sign up for the free credits, but some of us have done it many times. Yeah, Mark, what's up? Do you have a question, Mark?
Yeah. I got Oracle VM VirtualBox on my laptop, right? And I've not been able to successfully use it yet. But
Okay.
and I hate to say that because you know what you just said about not being ready for course. I think if I just get over that obstacle, I'll be fine. But what you're talking
Okay.
about with the Google Cloud, I signed up and then I started getting. I signed up and I used a virtual card, right? And I locked
Yeah.
them so they're no good. Well,
Yeah.
they started asking me about, payment. They're still going on. And honestly, I tried to go into the account. I didn't know how to navigate it to turn it off, like you said. So I don't know if
Mhm.
maybe at one point, if you could help me with that, or if somebody else knows wants to help me with that. Because I know a couple of these things are rather basic and all, but that seems to be kind of like my Achilles heel sometimes.
No problem. And it's some of them it's not intuitive. So don't beat yourself up if it doesn't make sense right away, especially the first time, your first few times you're starting to get this working. You mentioned VirtualBox. VirtualBox is great because it's free. Everybody has their own preference. That's for what you want to use for a hypervisor to run your machines locally. Some folks prefer to use VMware. Other folks, like myself, I like to use VirtualBox because it seems to be less of a resource hog on my host systems. But your mileage may vary, and there are a lot of kind of fiddly little configurations and stuff like that going on with those things. So if you run into problems, I encourage you to go to the live Twitch sessions and get some help from Sam. He can help you usually get those set up pretty quickly. Um,
Awesome.
okay, cool. And if it's something like basic too, or just like a question that you don't want to, maybe you're on a roll, maybe you're working and you don't want to wait for the next session, or it's something that you can't make that time because you got work or something. Just reach out and we'll try to help you get the issue solved. Okay, so yeah, what's up?
When I was trying to do a project, like click there, it takes me a page to put a password and username.
Right. So the credentials are here on this capture the flag page, and you'll see here it says log in using the following credentials. So you'll want to enter those for username and password. And if you folks notice too here in the chat, Sam is going to be live in the labs also Monday through Thursday. So that's the basement in the science building, Science 37. If you go down there and you want to get in-person help, you can do that too. You can use those lab computers if you don't have one, but I don't recommend it. If you could possibly avoid it, try not to use those. And if you are in a bad situation, maybe you don't have access to a computer at home or a laptop, or CCSF's initiatives to get students laptops who need them has failed again, which would not surprise me at all. Reach out. Let's try to work it out, and let's try to get you connected with the resources you need. So, I'm a firm believer in where there's a will, there's a way. And one of the most valuable things that Sam taught me as a mentor is that going to college is kind of a hacking project in and of itself. You've got to find a way to get around the obstacles that the college puts in your way. And there's usually a loophole or a workaround for everything. So if you're having issues and you are in a situation where you can't access a computer or you can't get to campus or stuff's going on, just reach out and let us know, because we'll try to work with you, and we'll try to work with you and get you the help you need.
Wanted to make sure that this is the username and password will be the same for even all the projects, the same this user and password.
Yeah, that username and password is how you access the capture the flag.
And how about the like project? Because when I click on those project, like because it isn't on Canvas. The other one is on over there. What's that called? Sam's info over there. So when you click on the project, it also take a page to put use username and password. So my question is the same username and password will be using for that? Those not for the CTF? Like CTF?
Not sure I understand. Could you try to re-explain the question?
Okay, let me share my screen or...
Sure. Let me stop sharing it so you can share. Are you able to share your screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like here, okay, if I go here, CNIT 123, and if I click on this project, it pop up this page. So, yeah, what username and password I should use it?
Well, try entering the hacker secret credentials.
How you type it exactly? Sorry. Just
here, I'll put it in the chat so you can just copy and paste it.
So actually it's 3 instead of E.
And you'll see it takes you to the CTF.
Okay, so it worked. I would just save it for save my time.
Exactly. That's a great idea. So I don't know if everybody just caught that, but what Ruhani said was once she logged in, she's going to save the credentials in her keychain so that she doesn't have to log back in to the CTF scoreboard every time. So that's a good idea to do. And I think that's pretty much covers it. If you haven't, does anybody else have any other questions so far about the course or about anything we've gone over today? And if you haven't, if you think of some later, that's fine. Just reach out and let us know. I saw in here that there were folks who were looking for some late ads. That may be a possibility here. I'm going to meet with Sam and look at what we're at on the student count here. As far as unofficial course access, anybody can get to the CTF using those. I'll give you the link here. And feel free to play. Get started on that. So that's the link to the CTF, and then you can use those credentials that I posted above it to get in. Anybody else? Did I miss anybody else's question? Or does anybody?
You guys plan to run the same way you guys used to do, like a club, hacking club or something Saturday? I remember before we just started before COVID, it was you, Kaylin.
Yeah, we are definitely definitely liked having a competition team, but that's a long story. If you look at Sam's, if you look at the, go ahead and share my screen again. If you look at the letter that Sam posted on his page and recommended that folks share with the administration, you'll learn a little bit more about what happened to the hacking team. So we're hoping to reinstate that at some point soon. But that depends on what happens with CCSF. So
it's up a bit.
You can join the Discord here. You'll see the Discord's posted on the page. You can join the Discord, which is I can't recommend that highly enough. That's a great place to connect with former hacking team members, folks who are taking the classes. There are a lot of good resources on there. But if you look at Sam's email on the one that he's posted on the page here, his form email, you can learn a little bit more about what's going on with that. So,
and I highly recommend that you send this email if you can't get into CNIT 123. My understanding is there's more students that want to get in than there's actually room, and the administration needs to hear from you, or they'll keep on cutting our staff so we can't offer enough sections, which is what they've done this semester.
Yeah, and that is the case too with folks have emailed me and reached out to ask about classes like CNIT 124, which is advanced ethical hacking. That would be the next natural step in the progression to take after this course. We haven't been able to offer that in at least a year or two, and there is no plans on the books to offer it anytime soon. So that's really kind of a bummer because it's got some really good projects and material in it that allow you to take what you learned in this class and then build on those skills and enhance your capabilities. So it's unfortunate, but we're doing the best we can to work around the mess that the college is becoming at the current time. Hopefully things will get better, but we got to work with what we got for now. So definitely join the Discord, CCSF Hackers Discord, if you're interested in doing that. That's a good way to get some community and kind of get to know some of your current and former classmates, some of your peers in the program. And plus, there are just some cool resources on there. And if we do get our competition team back up and running, that's where a lot of the preparation and coordination for events takes place.
Will there be any Kahoot for this class?
No Kahoots, nope. Any other questions so far? Okay, it looks like we have.
You're gonna be opening up a couple modules or something like that, and you'll be opening up regularly. What days will they be opening up?
Are they not open? Are you not?
Some of them were. I looked. I think. Where's my phone? But yeah, I mean, I kind of just. I was just curious. What day? Like if they were all open? Is that what you're saying they are now?
The whole first half of the course should be published. Some of them may not be visible just yet. Some of the course, the stuff like the discussions and the quizzes get published on sort of a rolling basis. That's actually, I'm really glad you asked that because there is one compliance thing that I forgot to mention. There are two compliance things I forgot to mention. So. The reason that all of the quizzes aren't available immediately is because they've got some weird requirements for courses that are hosted in Canvas, online courses, asynchronous courses, stuff like that, where they do not want you to open everything at once because for some reason, as far as they're concerned, then it constitutes a correspondence course versus a remote course. Now, those distinctions don't make a whole lot of sense to me or other people, but that's just a compliance measure that we put in place. So, for example, let me go ahead and share my screen again.
I think my question was mostly what day should I look to be for any updates? Like, with modules like on some courses. I know you said courses and like other courses, but usually there's like a day like Tuesdays that they open up, or Thursdays they want discussions posted. I mean, what days to be aware of?
Gotcha. Oh, that helps a lot. So Saturdays, it's going to be on a rolling basis on Saturdays for this class. So new stuff will open on Saturdays, and then like quizzes and things like that will close on Saturdays as well. If you missed something, go and you want to go back and do it, let me know. Most of the time I can reopen an assignment for you or a quiz for you. Just what I would beg you to do is not get to the end of the semester, and this has happened before. Please don't get to the end of the semester and then ask me to go back and reopen everything, because it's a tedious manual process. But if there's stuff here and there that you missed and you want to get in on it, please let me know so that I can reopen it and give you an opportunity to participate. Now the other compliance point that I forgot to mention. Okay, so when I said you can do whatever you want for the course, there's one caveat. You got to do the discussions. Please do the discussions. So I have done my best to make these not a waste of your time and to be interesting topics. Please go in here and do these. So each discussion post, make 2 separate posts. That's one of their compliance rules. So make 2 separate posts, and you'll get awarded points for those. If you do like a really awesome one, you might even get some extra credit points on that. But go in there and please do the discussions. That is the one mandatory thing that you've got to do in order to meet state compliance regulations. Please do the discussions. Everything else, you're free to pick and choose how you want to earn your points. Oh, I just realized I'm not sharing my screen with you. Sorry. Everything else, you're free to pick and choose how you want to earn your points, but please do the discussion posts.
And those are due Saturday as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. Saturday's the day. Got it.
Saturday is the day, and hopefully that makes it a little easier, because a lot of folks, you're getting through your week, and hopefully that makes it a little easier. Also, nothing is due for 2 weeks, so you'll see that the first date on stuff, I believe, is February 4th. So that gives you some time to take some time to get your first rounds of coursework submitted and kind of get settled in the course and stuff like that.
It will be every week, like 1 week, Saturday to Saturday. So
yeah, and typically now, once you get towards the end of the course, at the very end, you'll have a couple of weeks without discussion posts or anything that is due specifically, and the reason for that is I want you to have a little time at the very end to wrap up any more points that you need to earn, or on the CTF scoreboards, or if you want to study for the final, that you have a little time to do that. So, but typically there's going to be one discussion post every week and one quiz every week. Quiz is optional, though recommended, but the discussion is required.
So Karen, and also I have another question. I have taken 120 and 103, but not have taken 104 operating system. I think Karen has the same question and I have the thing. So it will be okay for taking this course.
How did you feel about 120? How'd you feel about that course?
Yeah, it was good. I didn't have any issues. And last semester I have taken 2 courses with Sam. He was
okay. Yeah, if you took 120, I feel like 120 is a great test, right? So if you did okay in 120, you felt good about it, you should be fine in this class.
okay.
Anybody else got any questions? If you think of them later, feel free to let me know. And now, yeah, that's correct. That's right.
Liz, I see some people trying to add, but I think it's full, right? I think we should just tell them no. Is that all right with you?
let's just look at that. Can we look at that? Can
There's-
we meet up offline after?
Okay, fair enough.
Look at that.
Okay.
I just want to give. I feel like we've got I don't want to waste the resource of magnificent chaos that we have in our midst here.
Okay.
So I'm going to wrap up our section of this now, and I want to introduce a former student and current sorcerer of cybersecurity, Caitlin, to talk to the students here.